Oh, yes. Hello. That's right. It's Friday the 13th. Put on that ski mask. Friday the 13th is here. 2026. Mid-February. Temperature's cold, but not frigid. Not biting cold, I should say. It's relatively frigid, but not biting cold. I just woke up this morning and didn't have to use the space heater, and man, I couldn't believe the wall units we've got in this place. I realized where their limit was, and it's clear as day now, so that's always good to know. So, listen, it's Friday. I'm glad you're still here. Thank you for listening. We've got an increase in our followers this week, a couple new followers, at least on Substack. The total numbers are really hard to track in terms of the other platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So yeah, if you're listening on Apple or Spotify or Amazon, wherever you listen, and it would be helpful if you'd also follow us on Substack too, or at least pop over there and leave us a note or something. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I decided to host this show because it really didn't start as any kind of economic play. It still isn't. It's still really just following me on a daily as I build a new company and launch a show and do a radical transformation to the next thing. And I reflect on what I've learned and what I am learning and what I hope I can learn along the way. So to the extent that's helpful to you, then I wanted to share it with everybody. So that's the primary purpose. But I hosted it on Substack because, number one, Substack is free to host on, which is really low friction, and it works really easily as far as that goes. But Substack is a platform for, by and for authors, writers. So it's not the most native platform for an audio podcast, but the features are there. But the data isn't great as far as visibility into how many people are actually listening in the other platforms. And so there's estimates or whatever, but we really don't know. But I just know that we're growing a little bit. So I'm grateful there's more people listening, and it does change one's orientation when you're doing something that people are actually paying attention to, and more people are paying attention to it. So I'm enjoying how that impacts how I show up, as consistently as I do, and then think about, okay, what can I reflect on that might be useful to someone listening? And it's a little bit of a shot in the dark, so don't try too hard. I try to just be authentic with what's I think is interesting, but I do love hearing from people. So thank you very much for listening. Friday the 13th, on this day in 1588, which I'm sure you remember well, right? Astronomer Tycho Brahe, Brahe, outlined his solar system structure, 1588. So I guess they didn't have Google Maps back then. They didn't have I'm sure Google's already mapped all of this by now. I'm sure they have. Well, they do have Google Earth, but what else? Oh, Novocaine. Novocaine was patented on this day in 1906. One thing I like about these dates is you just realize in the grand arc of history how things have changed so quickly. Because, Novocaine, all of us, if you go to the dentist, you're familiar with Novocaine, unless I'm mixing up what that is, but I'm pretty sure that's the painkiller that traditionally people use in the dentist. But, before 1906, and probably well after 1906, even as it was proliferating, I'm guessing, not available. So I guess you just screamed. You can't bite on a piece of wood if they're working on your teeth, right? So how else would you get the pain out? I don't know. Maybe they gave them alcohol? I don't know. Maybe I'll research that. Maybe not. We'll see. So that's our little trivia moment there. It's been I don't want to say it's been a long week. It's been a very good week. I've had a lot of engagement with a lot of great people. And I have to say that the best scenario, the best situation that you can be in is the ratio of talking to clients and potential future clients. When you're really diving into their world, their needs, and how you're going to help them, there is nothing better. And I think I was in a bit of a long winter. I mean, literally and figuratively, but with the last business, because of the way that it was structured and the type of clients that we had, it was, it felt more like a gold rush. Like you're out there, you're toiling away, long periods of nothing, and then you'd strike gold. And then, because when you're in government procurement, it's so much about the mechanics of the purchase that even when you're engaging with the client, a lot of it was around the logistics of purchasing and scheduling. And I cannot tell you how much time I spent on platforms trying to figure out how to get some platform to configure the numbers right. And, often the systems look like they were built in 1985. And I wasted so much time. If some people wonder why the government pays so much money for different things, one of the reasons why is because any organization, whether it's a government or even a private organization, become bureaucratic. There's a lot of different factors at play. And the regulations and the processes around purchasing, which are usually built to reduce the cost, they actually increase it sometimes, because vendors know that if the cost of me setting myself up as a vendor is X high, and if the cost of maintaining my ability to do business with you is so high, then there's got to be a trade-off. So I'm going to build that into my pricing, and I'm going to want a longer, guarantees. And so the arc of purchasing just makes it more and more expensive, because the only people who will do business at that point, who can do business, are people who've inflated pricing in order to meet that goal and or to meet their needs. And so now I'm in this place where I'm not doing any of that, and I'm spending a higher percentage of my time talking with partners, potential clients, and clients about what they're really trying to do. And it makes me happy. It is, that is when the nature of business becomes truly joyful. If you're in doing something that you do, I know this sounds simple, but I realize now how far away I'd gotten from being able to do that enough to fulfill my own need, that I'm doing something that is really valuable. And that's why I would feel after a while, just there's no feedback loop that you're doing something valuable until you get this big moment where you do a big training and you realize that you matter. But it was just really, really tough, that feast and famine cycle. And now building and growing and building a foundation, I'm meeting so many amazing people, and I'm getting to talk to them about what they're facing and how I can help them. And what's also amazing about it is I just don't even I'm not thinking about how I'm going to prescribe my medicine to you no matter what your problem is. I go into these calls and I'm like, what is your real need? Because if it's not what I have, or if it involves bringing in someone else, the main point is that you get what you need. And the quality of my heart and my insides, being able to do that more regularly just in the last few months, I have to say, it is filling me up and sustaining me through the difficulties. And I am really, really grateful, and it's one of many signs that I've finally gotten myself in the right place, doing the right thing. So that's really my point for today, is when you're aligned and when you're in a place to be able to just put your primary focus on serving others, everything does seem to get better and more fun, more joyful, more wonderful. And so while there are still many challenges, I'm definitely in a new place. So that's my gratitude on this Friday. Going to go into a very busy weekend, a lot of work to do on many fronts, but grateful to be around to do it. All right. I hope you have a good weekend. I'm so grateful that you listened to this show. Share it with a friend if you can. let them know if they need a little morning inspiration to get going while they're having their coffee and their oatmeal or whatever they like to eat, or nothing at all. Some people don't like breakfast, apparently. But please share it with others and let's keep growing. I'm kind of enjoying this little growth spurt. So, all right, as usual, always remember, be good to yourself and others. Enjoy the weekend. Thanks for listening, and we will check back again with you Monday. Bye-bye for now.